Good morning. This is the Great Basin Prescribed Fire and Smoke Transport Briefing from Monday, April 17th. The past 2 weeks, it's been quite dry across western and southern portions of the Great Basin, with precipitation amounts just a couple hundredths of an inch at best. To some areas, nothing. Moderate to locally heavy amounts of precip fell across the higher terrain of Utah into parts of eastern Idaho and western Wyoming. You can see the percent of normal on the right-hand side and how bone dry it's been in our far south and west. And the fuels have responded to some of that. The 100-hour fuels are down into the mid to upper single digits across parts of southern Utah, southern Nevada, still quite moist in areas further north. Looking at our snowpack, you can see still significant record snowpack, so no change on this front. 200 to 300 or more percent of normal in many areas. Even up in mountains of central Idaho, which have the least amount of snowpack in our area, still 20 or 30% or even 40% above normal. Western Wyoming going about 10 to 20% above normal as well. Got another powerful Pacific storm system off the British Columbia coast, pushing in clouds into parts of Idaho. These storms now, as we get into spring, typically do not drop as far south, and we are seeing that trend starting to develop. We'll look at the map for later this afternoon. There's a storm system. There's the deep moisture in the green into Idaho, Montana. Having a tough time getting down south of the I-80 corridor. You can see on the 7-day we are mostly green, but have dried out quite a bit down in the Vegas area, down into adjacent Arizona. You can see the humidity's down there, single digits, otherwise getting up to closer to 20% to 30% as you go further north. And winds picking up ahead of that storm system in western Nevada, northwestern Nevada, especially gusts of 30 to 40. Humidity levels, though, not quite that dry. Drier humidity and breezy conditions combined, mostly in our far southern areas. But again, fuels are in green up right now. There could be some dormant fuels there. We always have to watch it this time of year down south whenever we get humidity getting down near 10% and strong gusty winds. Not that we get large fires, but you always get that surprise 10 to 50 acre fire sometimes. Now, for tomorrow, there's that storm system. It's really not having good luck getting further south. So a lot of moisture in Oregon, into parts of Idaho, into far western Wyoming, but not really that much further south. You can see we are breezy. We have even dried out some of our southeastern Utah areas here into the yellow. So it's getting towards that time of year, much more critical as you head down into New Mexico and parts of Colorado. Humidity down there, you can see on the right-hand side, 8-9%, single digits down south. They also have strong winds. That's a wind gusts from the southwest, 40, 50 miles an hour. I have to keep an eye on that. Again, fuels are still in green up mode in a lot of areas there. It's still early in the year. There's not an abundant grass crop in the far south, but we still have to keep an eye on things down there. Now, there's the remnants of the desert storm system moving out into the upper plain states on Wednesday. Still lingering moisture, mostly in the northern half of the geographic area. Moderate breezes here on the left. Humidity still dry in the south, but 20 to 30% as you head further north. 3-day precipitation totals, like we said, these storms this time of year tend to not drop too much further south, unlike most of the winter. So most of the measurable precipitation light to locally moderate, mainly north of the I-80 corridor. And then looking down the road further, that storm system's still stubborn in the upper plain states. We have residual northwest flow and moisture across parts of Utah and into Idaho and western Wyoming. High pressure and drying in the western Great Basin. And that warming, drying trend really picks up from west to east on Friday, especially the western Great Basin, western central Nevada. Really warming up, drying out. Some moisture to the north on Saturday. Sunday, kind of a weak high pressure ridge over the entire area. Most of any moisture mainly north of the Great Basin. Another low pressure area dropped down out of the Gulf of Alaska. We'll see how far south it goes, but further south, more on our trajectory. A lot of dry air still in place. As you see the tannish shades through here. No real fire danger on the 7-day, just starting to dry out in our far south. This is precipitation from Thursday morning through Saturday morning. Some lingering amounts, light to maybe locally a tenth of an inch. Maybe some snow in the highest terrain of Idaho. and just spotty amounts as you head further into the end of the weekend into early next week. This is the 7-day total precipitation. And then further down the road, the 8 to 14 day, a return to near normal temperatures. And normal for the end of April is pretty warm and nice. Near normal precipitation for most areas, maybe a little bit more wetness in the far east. This concludes our briefing. Next one coming up Wednesday. Have a great day.